The crowd at Wat Market was unusually quiet, their attention fixed on Effiong's stall. Effiong was on his knees, shaking, his hands clutching at the ground as though trying to hold himself together. The young preacher stood a few feet away, his voice calm but commanding as he prayed into a microphone. The tension in the air was thick, the kind that made even the boldest readers stop in their tracks. Effiong's voice broke through the silence, a desperate haunting sound. "Please stop, I can't. I'll tell them everything. Please stop." Gasps and whispers rippled through the crowd, their expressions shifting from confusion to growing horror. No one moved, no one spoke. Wat Market had never witnessed anything like this. Once upon a time, there lived a man named Ikbo. He was a bricklayer, but a very wretched one. He had a son named Effiong. One thing people didn't understand was how a wretched man like Ikbo was able to attract and marry a beautiful woman like Ikwo, his wife. Ikwo was a beauty to behold. She was tall, light-skinned, with long full hair, beautiful glowing skin, and a very enchanting face. Many people gossiped and speculated that Ikwo used charms on Ikwo. Some said it was just luck, but Ekpo's luck was soon going to run out. Ekpo had been working on a new building when his wife brought him food. The moment the owner of the building set his eyes on Ikwo, everything went downhill for Ikwo. Ikwo packed her things and left her son and husband and moved into the rich man's house. All effort by Ikpo to take back his wife was unsuccessful. Ikpo decided to move on with his life, but his heart was broken, and not long after, Ikpo died. People blamed it on Ikwo, his wife, but nothing could physically link Ikwo to Ikpo's death. Ikpo's death had resulted from him falling from a 4-story building where he was working. At the time, Effiong, Ikpo and Ikwo's son was just 13 years. Whether Ikwo would have taken Effiong to her new man's house, no one would ever know because Effiong ran away immediately after his father's burial. Effiong could not be consoled. He blamed his misfortune not on his father, mother or the rich man, but on money. He blamed poverty for tearing his parents apart. Some years after, Effiong came back to Calabar, but this time things had changed. He was now Effiong, the meat seller. The sun was just rising over Calabar, casting a golden glow on Wat Market, a place alive with color, sound and movement. Traders arranged their wares, calling out to early customers. But even in the cacophony of voices, one name dominated every corner of the market: Effiong. Effiong wasn't just a meat seller, he was a phenomenon. His stall stood at the center of the market, always surrounded by a crowd no matter the time of day. Customers shouted and even begged to buy from him. It wasn't just the quality of his meat that drew them, it was something else, something unspoken that seemed to pull people towards him. But Effiong was no ordinary trader. He was rude and abusive, often mocking his customers, refusing to sell to some and dismissing others with a wave of his hand. Yet they always came back. The more he insulted them, the more they seemed to crave his meat. Rumors swirled among the traders. "How does he do it?" whispered Ekaite, the vegetable seller. "We sell quality goods too, but our stalls are empty while his is always full." Akpan, the fishmonger, snorted. "It's not normal. I've seen him muttering to himself before the market opens. Something isn't right about that man. Others nodded in agreement, but their envy was tinged with fear. No one dared confront Effiong. He was untouchable, his wealth growing by the day. He had recently bought a sprawling mansion on the outskirts of the city, complete with luxury cars and extravagant parties that were the talk of Calabar. Ikaite, suspicious of his early arrivals, decided to follow him one day. Hiding behind a pile of crate, she watched Effiong. She didn't see anything suspicious, but the Kaite knew Effiong's success wasn't normal. She tried to warn others, but they dismissed her. "You're just jealous of his success," they said. One day, Akpan the fishmonger went to Effiong after he had finished selling his meat. "Please, Effiong, I need to speak to you," Akpan pleaded. "Akpan, say what you want, I am busy," Effiong said as he focused on counting a bundle of money. "Effiong, I have been selling in this market for the past 10 years and I am still broke. I don't have the number of customers that you do. Please, tell me what you're doing differently," Akpan said. Effiong paused and looked at Akpan. "What do you think I am doing differently? If you spend more time at your store instead of gossiping, maybe you would actually make good money," Effiong said. Effiong's words were like a slap on Akpan's face. Akpan simply walked away without saying another word. Akpan, in a desperate need to prosper like Effiong, decided to join his neighbor to see a traditional medicine man that was rumored to be very powerful. "I can see riches in your future," the man said, and Akpan nodded and smiled from ear to ear. "If you want to be as rich as I have seen in your future, you have to perform a little task," the man said. Akpan's excitement could not be contained. "I am ready to do anything," Akpan said. "You need to sleep with a 50-year-old mad woman every day for 1 month, after which you only need to sleep with her once a month," the man said. Akpan's mouth fell open. How was he to know a 50-year-old mad woman? Akpan couldn't stomach doing it once, not to talk of a whole month. Akpan had a lot of questions. "You can go and come back when you're ready," the man said to Akpan. Akpan left and never went back. It seemed like too much work. He decided to focus on his fish business instead. One day, Akpan saw an old woman walk past Effiong's store. "You old woman, why can't you stay at home and die?" Effiong said to the woman in his normal, insolent manner. The old woman turned to Effiong. "Whatever is hidden in the darkness will soon come to light," she said, and walked by. Akpan heard the whole conversation that ensued between Effiong and the old woman. He pledged within himself to sell his fishes and desist from shortcuts. One fateful day, a young preacher arrived at the market. He was dressed simply, carrying a portable microphone with him. His voice rang out over the noise of the market, urging people to repent and turn away from sin. At first, the traders ignored him. Preachers often come to the market and their words usually went unheard, but this one was different. There was an intensity in his voice that made people pause. When he reached Effiong's store, he stopped. His expression darkened as he raised his hand towards the store. "There is darkness here," he said, his voice trembling with conviction. "Whatever has been done in secret will be brought to light." Effiong, who had just finished selling for the day, scoffed. "Go away, preacher. Take your nonsense elsewhere." But the preacher didn't move. Instead, he closed his eyes and began to pray loudly. His words echoed through the market and a strange stillness fell over the crowd. Suddenly, Effiong let out a piercing scream. He clutched his chest and fell to his knees, sobbing uncontrollably. "Please stop, stop," he begged. The crowd watched in stunned silence as Effiong began to talk. "I watched my father, who was an honest and straightforward man, get ridiculed because he was poor. I saw that I would never be poor. I tried to make money the right way, but I wasn't making enough. People cheated and stole from me. Tell the truth," the preacher said. "It will set you free." If you're enjoying this story so far, do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, and share this story with a friend or two that you feel will like it. Back to the story. "I am a fraud," Effiong cried. "I use charms to sell my meat. I have a sore on my leg that never heals. Every piece of meat I sell is usually rubbed on it before I sell it to people. The more people buy from me, the more their fortune is transferred to me," Effiong said. The crowd erupted in chaos. Some screamed in horror. Others cursed and jeered. A woman fainted while a man threw a stone at Effiong, narrowly missing his head. The preacher raised his hand for silence. "This is the power of truth," he said. "Evil may thrive for a time, but it cannot hide forever." Effiong tried to explain himself, saying he had been desperate to escape poverty. But the crowd wasn't interested in excuses. They chased him out of the market, throwing rotten vegetables and stones at him. For weeks, the story of Effiong's confession spread across Calabar. Wat market buzzed with gossip, and his once thriving store was left abandoned, covered in dust and cobwebs. Traders avoided the area, calling it cursed. Months later, Effiong resurfaced in another part of the market selling bags. His face was pale, his confidence replaced by shame. Customers avoided him like the plague, and his store remained empty day after day. One evening, as he packed up his unsold goods, he spotted a familiar figure in the crowd. It was the old woman who had once warned him. She smiled faintly and walked away, leaving him to his thoughts. The story of Effiong came as a cautionary tale in Wat market. Traders and customers alike learned the dangers of greed and deceit. The preacher's words echoed in their minds. What is done in darkness will always come to light. And so Wat market returned to its lively, chaotic self, but the memory of Effiong's downfall lingered, a reminder of the power of truth and the consequences of straying from it. But not so long after that, another trader came along. Ifeanyi, the shoe seller, was famous for his unusual way of selling goods. Ifeanyi's shop was always filled with customers, but Ifeanyi would stop at intervals and start a weird dance. During this period, his customers would wait for him to finish his dance as though they were in a trance. They wouldn't walk away. Are you wondering what this is all about? Well, that is a story for another video. Thank you so much for watching. Please click on the next video and I'm sure you will be entertained. Thank you.